Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the show that is called AI Inferno, episode 111. And with the power of 15 nicotine patches coursing through my veins, I am your host, Christopher Fryant. And we have here our two wonderful, gorgeous, intriguing co-hosts, Miss Cate Bligh and Mr. Rich Silver. Round of applause emojis, please, for him. There you go.
Or a real, actual round of applause, yeah.
All right, great. Cate, what do we have on the agenda for today?
Okay, so we've got some really great topics to discuss. We've got Sam Altman posting a letter from some senators. We've got Luma Labs releasing Ray2. We've also got ChatGPT update with tasks feature. And something kind of fun that showed up on my feed was a bland.com post. So we'll get into that and what that means for your identity, and some news from Krea and lots more. We always come up with something new to talk about.
Outstanding. And as always, I open with a question for Cate. So, Cate, what is a Demogorgon? Give your best answer, right or wrong, doesn't matter.
A gorgon that demos things.
Nailed it.
As in like a demo, like correct. At the county fair, not yes. Demolition.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right. Yeah. That is correct. All right. So we have the Sam Altman thing. So we can bring up the post for that as well. We'll do that in the purple pill. Yes.
Yes, I'm on it. I'll be sharing everything we discuss. I'll be sharing down in the purple pill below. You'll be able to find the source of our uninformed takes on all this information down there. And up above in the Jumbotron, you will find our affiliate link to Luma Labs. So if you haven't tried Luma Labs, I don't know, Christopher, you might have something you want to say about that first before we get started, or were you planning that later?
No, we can do that now. Yeah. And speaking of Luma, let me ask you all a question. Do you want to create stunning, incredible, groundbreaking AI videos like mine? Of course you do. And you can do all that and more with Luma Labs. Luma Labs Dream Machine is one of the top image to video and text to video models on the market today, and I highly recommend them. We have a pinned affiliate link above in the Jumbotron and in the purple pill below. Use the link to support our show and help expose the seedy underbelly of the AI industrial complex.
Yeah, there's no question about it. You can also create mediocre AI videos just like me.
No, it's impossible. It's impossible.
They're all brilliant.
Officially.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then legally. Rich also makes some very nice ones as well. Yes.
Mediocre also.
No, you guys
compared to Christopher, we are all mediocre.
Oh, come on. No, you guys are great. I'm seeing the weirdest bug, like Rich's emojis. There's like you guys remember on the old Windows? I'm probably dating myself quite a bit here with this. When it used to glitch out, you move like a window and it would create like a repeating line of that same window over and over again. That's what's happening with
yes.
Yeah, that's what's happening with. I actually probably should screenshot this because it's really fucking weird. It's every emoji he's dropped so far stacked on top of each other haphazardly. Yeah, I'll put that down in the
I love it.
So you guys
that just makes me want to drop even more and more.
And they're different sizes too.
That sounds like a really fun glitch. I'm looking forward to seeing that screenshot. And yep. I do want to say hi to ND and /Key for joining us. We're going to be talking about some of the AI news topics. And if anyone wants to chime in or join us up on stage to hang out in Engagement Farm, you are more than welcome. So I'll just put that invite out there for everyone. And to also support the show by clicking through the link posted in the Jumbotron. Much appreciated. Okay, so are we ready to discuss the post from Sam Altman, which was quite interesting.
Quite interesting is. So the post is Sam Altman at Sam. I think this was yesterday. Funny, they never sent me one of these for contributing to Democrats. And surprise, surprise, this letter from Congress is from Democrats and signed by Elizabeth Warren and Michael F. Bennett. Does anybody know? I want to get the name right. Nope, no. Okay, they're both wrong. All right. Okay, so it's basically they're voicing their concerns, because they're contributing to Sam Altman and a bunch of other AI companies have contributed to the inaugural fund of Donald Trump, and they say that they're cozying up to the president, which probably are, but it was never a problem until it's a problem now. So yeah, yeah, kind of concerning because it's basically a threat, right? Like this entire uh, thing reads as a threat. Part of the post in the actual letter. Let me see if I can find this here. They're talking about you are facing federal investigations and regulatory actions, for example. So they had this stuff already queued up um, as kind of a threat already, and now they're pressing down on that threat. Now that they're putting up money for the Trump inaugural fund, and I believe that all of these people, all of these companies, they've got let's see here, they got Meta, they've got Microsoft, Google, OpenAI, Uber. They've all did the same thing when Biden was in office, and it was not a problem then. It's a problem now. And I think this is particularly interesting because if we remember the Mark Andreessen video where he straight up said that he was threatened by Congress. He said that it's only going to be certain AI companies that we're going to allow to exist. Everything else is going to be classified. Like if there's a competing technology, if there's competing math, we'll just what did they say they would do? They would classify it. They would classify an entire type of math to make it impossible to, or it would kill the competition. And they're talking about anti-competition in this letter, and I think it's just ridiculous. What do you guys takes on this?
Well, I think it's bad. Okay.
I like it. I can agree with that take. Yes, this is bad. Okay. No, yeah, it's just it's abuse of power. I want to say it's like an abuse of power, but it's just the typical. It's just the. I mean, this is Elizabeth Warren here. Like, I wouldn't expect any less. I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Yes. So I'll give a real take here. That so for the base or the voting bloc of these senators to continue with the story that Trump is the devil, literally Hitler, other takes that they think they have to at any point put forward stuff that validates that they really think that. And they might really think that. I don't know, like to a certain degree. So if they actually think that, then it makes sense. The letter makes sense, right? So that's my take on it.
I don't know that they actually believe that because again, we've had these closed doors congressional meetings with the top players in AI, and they're all basically also threats. And this is before Trump was even elected. So it's just a way to press down. They can't do both. You can't on one side say, we're concerned about cozying up, and on the other side say we're going to control this, and you better get in line. You can't have both.
Oh, they can, and they're
As
going to
how they,
try.
They
yeah,
can
they
try.
want.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
want anything to actually happen. And yeah, when the power's in their hands, they're very happy to wield it. And when it's not, they're very happy to complain about others wielding it. So yeah, the hypocrisy runs deep.
Yeah, they're very concerned, aren't they? That's how I actually
Yeah.
had a CNBC article talking about it. It was the only one of a few that I actually found. When I tried to search for this about the letter on YouTube, nothing came up at all. I did on Google, and I got, of course, CNBC and NBC and CNN and all that kind of stuff. And the title of this kind of tells you everything you need to know about the article, although I did read the whole thing. Sam Altman posts a letter from senators concerned about OpenAI's efforts to cozy up to Trump.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, is they have to keep playing up this story that he is the Antichrist, one of the four horsemen here to destroy Earth as we know it. And to do that, and if they want their base to truly believe it, they have to do these extreme measures that just seem like absolutely crazy.
Okay, so
Yeah.
going along with that line of thinking, we saw what they did to Elon Musk. He's in the AI game. They're probably going to do the same thing to Sam Altman then. If they're like, ooh, they're cozying up, they're not playing ball with us specifically. That means that they're now under investigation. They're under SEC investigation, which I guess they should have already. But considering that they're supposed to be a
Yeah,
nonprofit,
I wouldn't be shocked if they really ramped up the anti-AI talk, in the coming months, years, really trying to find a way to destroy it, for a lot of reasons, but this is one that, that these tech guys with a lot of money aren't playing ball, and then also, it's an egalitarian type of tool. It can empower the common man, so that has to be regulated, sure.
yeah, I mean, it's a certainly a powerful technology, and they want to put a stranglehold on it. And I think that's very concerning because I want to see competition. I want to see new innovations. And if it's only one company, they're not going to be motivated to move as fast as they would have otherwise with a whole bunch of players in the space as it is now. And I'm actually concerned that it's already happened. Like, how do we know that they haven't classified certain types of math already? Like maybe it's
Yeah,
already
how would
happened. We
we
have no
know?
idea. Yeah, we wouldn't know, right?
We wouldn't.
Yeah.
We're not mathematicians who's, speak in these elite corners like of rooms. No, we wouldn't know.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason why we know about it is from Mark Andreessen's video. That's it. That's the only way that is one of them actually spoke up and said something, and I appreciate that. And obviously, he has an incentive to do that because he's invested in a lot of AI companies. He's invested in Luma, 11 Labs, I think, a lot of the top spaces people. I think even Runway. So a lot of competition there, and some even opposing competition. So that's interesting. But they're probably trying to go for the top players. But we got Slash Key up here. Do you want to chime in on this super heavy topic?
Well, I'll take that as a no, and I don't blame you. It's a hot topic. Yeah, so we'll see how this all evolves in the coming months. I mean, these guys have a lot of money, and they've also got a lot of money tied up in a lot of these companies, like you were saying, in not just in one, but in multiple. And so they do have, a vested interest of their wallets beyond just saving the planet, which has been the goal from up until like what 3 months ago.
Saving the planet for what?
Well, like all the everyone wants to everyone's motivation is to save the planet, which means Trump can't be president because that will destroy the planet. So that's the logic, I think.
Yeah, it's like, what do they call that? It's like you're reasoning backwards from a conclusion. Like, yeah, it's wild. All right.
Sorry, uh,
Well,
regarding the issue, um, there's open source alternatives. So if they shut down something, we're just going to use the open source ones. They might not be as good, but they're still pretty good. Where we have a lot of like with ChatGPT and the other services, the paid services, um, they do some nice things for the user in regards to keeping everything like the layout and everything like that is really nice. I use ChatGPT, but I think the others are probably better, but I'm just used to it. But I'm happy just to load in what are they called? LM, whatever the term is. I could just load one of those open source ones on my computer and use that instead if they
yeah,
shut down ChatGPT. So I don't know what the fuck they're thinking, to be honest. Sorry for swearing.
no, it's fine. You can absolutely swear on this one. Yeah, yeah, that sounds good, and I think that's what a lot of what Meta's doing when they're open sourcing Llama and a lot of their other models, is they're trying to get it out there so in order to avoid regulation because it'll just be out there anyway. But I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking on their side, the congressional members that are maybe they're just thinking, oh, we will just get as many FBI agents as we need to get on it and shut it all down. Like individual people, go to their houses, go through their emails, like go to their downloads, look at their GitHub polls, that kind of thing. Yeah, anything they need to do to make it happen.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, when are they just they're just going to eventually want to criminalize it, make it criminal to work with AI tools, AI technology, and for them to do that, they're going to have to get the public against it. And for them to do that, they're going to have to do more Oprah type shows where they tell the public that it's going to destroy your lives, take your jobs, and you'll have like a meaningless existence, with AI, or worse, they'll do like some sort of AI false flag event or something where AI causes some really horrible thing to happen in the world and nobody likes AI anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, which is ridiculous, right? Like it's not AI that's going to do that. It's a person using AI that's going to destroy your life and take your job. That's how that's going to work.
Right. And more people that use it, the better. And, like what Slashkey was saying, the chat GPT, like it's very user friendly, right? Doesn't take much to train my boomer parents to use it, beyond them trying to figure out how to get to the website. Like my mom couldn't remember how to get there. Like, so I think chat.com takes you there. I have to confirm that. But, that element of it is something that is actually really critical, that it is something that anyone can use, which I think is super important for AI. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so I think we've talked this one to death. Do we want to move on?
Sure. Let's move on. The next topic we were going to talk about was the Luma Ray2 release, which happened last week. And none of us are really sure if that's available to everyone yet or if it's just the early release crowd that has it. But I think the three of us up here, the co-hosts and host, have access to the early release,
Yep.
so
Yep.
we can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, so I got super early access in a closed what was it, a WhatsApp message, and it was very cloak and dagger, very very. There was smoke in the room, and there was a guy in a suit in the back corner, and he never spoke, but and then we were sharing about all of our stuff there, and trying it out for the first time. It was very cool. It's very very exclusive, very noir.
That sounds cool. So what do we want to talk about? Like there was the it seemed like a botting was happening.
Yeah,
Do you know what that was about?
I don't know. I've never seen anything like that from Luma before, so I'm assuming it may have been something to do with the hashtag itself. Um, like maybe it's a shitcoin also, something like that.
What was
But
happening?
like I got like 1.1 million views on one of my first posts, but it wasn't showing up um, in my
Analytics?
analytics. Yeah, yeah. So it was weird. So I assumed that it was like maybe with like non-premium members, non-verified members, that kind of thing. So it shows up, but it doesn't
Huh.
really count for like your analytics somehow. Yeah. So that was concerning.
And
So
that's right. This was a sample video of the
yeah,
new Luma that you
yeah,
posted on
it was the
X.
first one that I posted, and then I post. So for the first one that I post, I guess I'll put these up in the purple pill and also jumbotron. But so you can see my millions of views. One of them got 1.1 million views. The other one got 494,000 views. I think the other one, the lower one, was actually pretty legit because I was watching it go up at the time, and the 1.1 million was like um, almost instant, like overnight, and there wasn't like the corresponding like comments and likes to support that, so it was a little weird. So all right, so I'll share that. So the first one that I did was creepy room with a, if for people who are just listening, creepy room, it's like a play place indoors, lit only with a flashlight. It was like first person view kind of thing, and it's actually really good. It's one of the first things that I made with it, um, because it's one thing that some video models can handle and some ones can't. Some of the ones can't. Not the darkness, although some of them have problems with that too. But the flashlight thing, like even if I feed it an image with a flashlight beam on it, it's obviously there. It'll just forget about it. Like, but Luma handled it just fine. Runway is another one that can handle that pretty well. Although Runway kind of has a brightness bias that I have to kind of fight against. Like, have to put in the prompt like starts dark, stays dark, does not go outside, stuff like that.
Yeah, it was crazy how, yeah, the 1 million views. And yeah, it did look odd because when I saw that, didn't seem right. The corresponding, yeah, likes and comments or replies. So yeah, there was a lot of speculation with that. And then it wasn't just a one-off; it happened again, and
Mhm.
I think it happened to a couple other people.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, so there was definitely something going on with the hashtag specifically.
Yeah,
So
something strange going on. Wrong.
something's wrong. Well, I can talk about I played around with Ray2. I don't know, Rich, did you get a chance to yet?
Yeah, I've used it a little bit here and there. Yeah, I like it. I think it's a step up. Some of the things every time they release like a new version or a new update, like it's a little bit different. Like you can tell, like there's something different there. There's something they've changed. I don't know. I think it's good. I think it's definitely a step up. Maybe I still need to use it some more though. I've only done a few generations with it, to be honest.
Well, I can say that it's got a lot of energy, and you can see that if you go to the Purple Pill. One of the first ones you'll see there is a raptor running away from police cars, and it is fast. It is wild. Like, and it's staying pretty well together. Like, the number of limbs doesn't change. It's supposed to be like a snorri cam shot, which basically means like focused on the face, doesn't waver. It moves around a little bit, but that's fine. I think it actually kind of adds to like the action scene kind of thing. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, I love that generation of the raptor, velociraptor, small baby T-Rex or whatever it is. It's
Micro
it
T-Rex.
right, very cool. And I was struggling with it myself, and I do struggle with the AI generation tools in general. Like I I have a hard time when I don't have like a creative vision ready to go and know what I want out of it. When I'm kind of just brainstorming, I get very frustrated. Um, one, because I don't have unlimited credits like you, or perceived unlimited credits. So every time I click generate and it's not something I can use, I get discouraged. And it's a mental thing, and and part of it is like time. Like for the first couple generations, it took 2 days or a day and a half or something to even get them. And, and then they're not something that I really want to use. Um, it was ignoring, like, putting people in a lot of my scenes, which was weird. It just made scenes which were lovely, but there was no people in them, which kind of bothered me. And I couldn't get it to add people, so I didn't want to generate hundreds of generations because I can't, So I just kind of got frustrated, and I ended up when I was in that kind of mindset, I ended up thinking about some of my other videos that I haven't completed. So I actually went back to the old model and played around with that, and it still wasn't working for what I wanted. So I had some video I generated from July and made a video from that. That's what I posted this morning. So I'm realizing now that if you're using these video generation tools and even the image generation tools, it would be really nice to have access to the different iterations of these models so that you can have that control, because I wasn't able to with the same prompt generate the same images as I was before. Like I was able to use the same prompt in July and get very similar images, almost exactly, just modified slightly, and it was amazing. It's exactly what I was looking for. And today, it's kind of like a wild card. You don't really know exactly what you're going to get until you do that work to fine tune the prompting. And you need a lot of credits to do that. You just need a lot of credits. So one thing I like about Midjourney is that they do have all the older models available for you to use if you are familiar with like the images and the prompts that you use to get certain styles. So that's cool. I wish some of these video models would do that too.
Yeah, some of them. I think it's mostly just like the main iterations and then one back. I think you can do that with Luma. I think there's an option for doing that. Like you have to select if you go to the ideas panel. I think you can select or just deselect Ray2. I believe. I'd have to check.
Yeah, and you can switch it to 1.6. Yeah.
But 1.6 is not. I don't know if that's the one that you had back then. You might have had one like one back from that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was playing around with everything in there and the legacy model that they have as well. They still have that available, but
Mhm.
it's still not the same one. So
Yeah.
it's very confusing. Yeah, it would be nice if that drop down had all the models and then maybe like OpenAI has like, oh 01, oh 02, 4, 3.5, all this stuff, right? But in the API, it's by date, which is very helpful. So I don't know. I'm just vamping here, but it would be nice to be able to play around with those other ones, those older versions, and know exactly which one I'm using.
Yeah, I assume the thing is they have to move over GPUs to the new ones to meet the demand. And even if they wanted to do that, like it's like which one is getting demanded more? Like, is it the new one or is it the one from 6 months ago or 8 months ago?
And why? Like, why? Why are people wanting to use one over the other?
They probably, I mean, knowing Luma, knowing the people that work there, they probably do think about that quite a lot. Like they look at the analytics and they're like, "What's going on with this? Like, why is the new one? Why is the old one getting hit more or at all
Mhm.
when the new one's there?" Yeah, so they do ask a lot of questions. To in the shady room with the cigar smoke and the man in the corner who never speaks.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about this stuff as a tool, right? Like a paint type of paint, or I don't know. So like, oh, we've made this better paint, so now the old one doesn't exist anymore. It's like, well, no, I like the look of the other paint.
Well, it's good. Yeah, if that's available on eBay for thousands of dollars.
That would be great.
That'd be wild, right? Like if it's like you pay more for the older models or something so they can afford to
Right, it's kind
provision
of like,
the
yeah, film
GPUs.
photography costs way more than digital.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So do we want to move on from there and talk about the failed GPT tasks?
Yeah, yeah, I didn't play around with it yet, which I'm upset about. I should have before the show, um, but there was plenty of buzz about it on X. A lot
I
of
don't
people having some
understand.
problems.
I don't understand the buzz. Like I don't get it. Because it can't reach out unless you're plugging into the API. It's not going to be able to reach out to anything else other than the internet. And then after that, it's not like it's going to send you an email or make something or do anything other than put text together. Like I assume this is the first step to whatever is going to be their version of AI agents, which I have been thinking about recently.
Yeah, so the idea of, I mean, opening up advanced voice mode and telling it like, oh, I have event at 6 p.m. on Wednesday with so and so, set a reminder. That's nice. But like, can Siri do that? Currently.
I don't know. Last
So
time we messed with Siri while you were around, it couldn't do shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Siri's pretty useless, but
Well,
the I,
Google can. Like, Google
Yeah,
can set your reminders and stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah. It's got Gemini now on Android phones, and it can do quite a lot. It can set reminders. So basically they beat them out once again.
yeah, and it's interesting because this is like the practical stuff that we will actually want AI to do for us. So it'd be great if, the AI was just integrated in my phone. I didn't even have to tap anything. I mean, the idea of, being like, hey, Siri, do this. It's a great idea. If you're going to use voice mode, because if you're going to have to type it in anyway, it doesn't matter what you use. I can just go directly to the calendar app and put it in a few clicks. So they have to, it has to do this stuff. It has to be our assistant. And waiting till now to figure it out is silly. Um, right? I think.
Yeah, it's weird. They've kind of like blown past the assistant thing and gone straight to like, oh, it can do advanced reasoning, it can do it can, create graphs and mathematical models and run your code and do everything but that. But it seems like in the beginning it was kind of like pushed as like, this can be your assistant for everything, and they're just like, yeah, we're not going to do that until later. Maybe it's because they realize like how big of an ask that is to plug all that stuff in and build it and make it work, versus letting other people do it with the API.
Right. So we need to be able to, it needs to have that reasoning to figure out like what we're actually asking for. Because if we use shorthand or just common language that maybe isn't clear to understand, for a computer, then okay, so that might be a reason why.
For
But it
sure.
needs to be better at it.
Yeah,
I always joked ever since the beginning that the AI is the worst employee you've ever had. It's still an employee, so you have someone there helping you, but you still have to explain everything to them every time you interact, and lots of other stuff that's like, is it worth it to have the employee, or is it just easier to do myself?
sounds like a skill issue. I think you should just be give it like the minimal amount of information, they and then say search the internet for steps and do it and continue to do it until it's done.
Right, and then ask me if you have a question. Like, it still doesn't do that. Like, that's one of the most basic things. If you wanna be an all-star employee somewhere, when you don't know something, ask somebody, and
Yeah.
the AI won't do that. You have to tell it to ask you.
Well, and then also don't just search the internet and find a list of steps and assume that that's correct because you found it on the internet, which,
That's what
some
I do.
AIs.
So okay, so I was thinking about this today. My idea for I do a lot of audio editing, and I was thinking like a lot of stuff. I'm like, I go to ChatGPT and I was like, okay, I've got this audio sample of someone talking. I want them to sound like they're in a metal chamber and it's a little echoey and kind of creepy, and scenes through a CCTV camera, and it gives me the steps for how to make it sound like that in Audacity. It's like an audio editing app, and I was thinking today, I was like, why don't I just use like Claude's computer use thing and just tell it to do it instead of going back and forth like I have been, because I definitely don't understand what the hell I'm doing in Audacity. Like, there's so many tools in there, and like they're words and they don't mean anything to me. So I have no idea what it's actually doing. Like, I can hear the difference when I do something. Don't know what it's doing at all. So the computer might as well do it for me, and it might actually save me a ton of time.
That'll be interesting to see if that works for you. Because, yeah, like I had the struggle today with Premiere. So, like these programs that are professional tools are beasts. And if you don't do stuff in them all the time, it's very easy to forget like the procedure, the process, finding the right tool and find it in the menu, all this stuff. Like you get lost if it's not something you do all the time. And the problem is with a lot of this stuff, it's like you don't really even know what you're asking for. You kind of know what you need to do, you know what the result is you want, but you don't really know the first step to get there. So it's very hard to search in help docs for answers. And like then they always send you the community forums, and it's never quite right. And you can type it into YouTube, and sometimes the answer's there, but you have to watch a 15-minute video when it's like, I just literally need to know what tool I'm supposed to use to do this, and it's very cumbersome. So AI chat has been helpful for that kind of thing. And I cannot wait until it's integrated. Like this is something that they could do like immediately with AI, and a lot of these tools is just have the AI help chatbot trained on all the documentation, all the updates, all the YouTube videos that
Yes.
exist. Yeah, it would just save so much time.
Bring back
uh,
Clippy.
Yes. I mean, this is like the Clippy we all dreamed of, right?
Exactly.
Like just being like, okay, because they've done something in Premiere where they changed workspaces. So you literally cannot access all the tools unless you have the right workspace set up, which is just weird. and very counterintuitive. So I keep forgetting that when I don't work in there for a while. And so it's a very hard one to figure out if you don't remember why you can't find the tool. Cause it's like, I remember this tool, it was here. Why isn't it here? Where is it? And and then that answer doesn't really exist online. So that would be something to I could very easily ask like a chatbot internal into the app that probably wouldn't be too user heavy, especially if I'm connected to the internet already anyway, to just be like, I'm trying to do this. Where is the properties tab? Like, why can't I find the properties tab? Kind of thing. Stuff like that would be very helpful.
Yes, it would be very helpful for boomers.
Oh yeah, I'm a certified boomer, elder millennial. Happy to say,
This is interesting though, because okay, so when we're older and we're boomers, we're the new boomers, right? Like we're probably going to be heavily reliant on AI in the same way that we're reliant on autocorrect constantly, right? So are we going to have the same problems that boomers do with everything technological ever forever?
oh, I
AI
have
will
a
be
thought
there.
about autocorrect I want to get back to, but Rich, you go first.
No, I was just gonna say AI will be there holding our hand. So I don't know. It'll be a little different because of that.
Yeah, I'm super excited about AI in my golden years, like taking care of me. I'm very excited about that. But I don't know if anyone, I just something about autocorrect that you mentioned. I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, that the grammar police are not out as much anymore, and the spelling police. So, and I think it's because autocorrect is so bad right now, everyone excuses it. It's so bad. It's gotten so much worse than it ever has been, and I don't
I,
know what that's about,
I wonder if they're
but
plugging in like Gemini or something like that. And they're like it's basically an LLM model, so why don't we just use an LLM for it?
yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird. Just something I noticed today. 'Cause I saw a comment, someone really laying into someone because they spelled something wrong, and I'm like, I haven't seen that in a long time. I used to see it every day.
You're
My
right. Yeah.
my screen is
Yeah.
a little glitched out, but is does Splash Key have his hand up, or is it just staying up for
Yes.
me? Okay,
Are you guys in the same room? There was an audio change in your mic.
no, it's just kind of glitchy.
Yeah, it went like louder or something. I
Yeah,
thought like it
my
was funny because you were talking about Audacity sounding like you're in a big room or something, and then that's what happened.
yeah, it's messing with my audio. Everybody sounds like they're in an echoey room. I think it's a PC thing, maybe.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, it's fine. Like it was just a change. So it was a bit strange. Anyway, sounds all
I'm
good.
starting to get
Just
used to it.
yeah, yeah, me too.
It's like I'm hearing someone's voice, but like an echo of them that's just like a millisecond behind, and it's yeah. It was giving me a headache at first. I guess I'm just getting used to it. I'm fully psyoped in it now. Whatever they're trying to do to my brain, they've done it.
All right. So the next story, if we're ready to move on, uh, was an interesting one that showed up on my feed for this app called Bland. It's bland.com, and I'll put it down below. And they posted a phone number that you could call, and it was basically you talk to it for a minute, and then all of a sudden you start talking to yourself because it's learning your voice and creating an AI voice model based on your voice as you're talking to it, which is really, really fascinating, but then also has so many implications. In the post, it says that it takes 1 minute and your voice is permanently deleted after the call. Don't worry, it's a one off. This isn't Black Mirror. So, I mean, are they just projecting that they are actually keeping your voice? It just seems very, yes, Black Mirror. Basically, they're learning your voice. It's now attached to your phone number because you called in, and then they can easily scam your family members for money and all this stuff.
It's
Yeah.
the perfect system.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. That's the first thing is it says your voice is deleted, but is the copy of your voice deleted? The doppelganger voice, is that deleted? I don't know.
That's good. Yeah, that's the best way to lie to somebody is lie by saying something that sounds like the truth, but it's not covering the truth
Exactly.
entirely.
Yeah, I hope that the big anti-scammer channels talk about that more because they're very much about public awareness, of course. But you can still imagine, the old grandma getting a call from her grandson, so-called grandson,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's already happening to a certain degree because it's just they get the access to the phone numbers and they can um, make a voice that maybe sounds similar, right? But now they can actually copy the voice almost exactly. And yeah, they say, I'm in jail. Can you send money to this number or this Venmo or whatever so I can bail me out of jail, this kind of thing, or buy go to Target and buy some gift cards and mail them to
To the
Maryland.
jail.com, Maryland.
I mean, it's crazy, but if you watch these scammer catcher dudes on YouTube, which is a whole rabbit hole, guys, which I really encourage you getting into so you can kind of understand what it's like on the other side. They do prey on people who are cognitively impaired, and it's really quite terrible to watch. And so these guys that catch them are really amazing, but
Yeah.
they can only do so much because most of it's happening outside the country.
Yeah, they have like hackers in on it. They like hack into their feeds and show them their own cameras, stuff like that. One guy put that took a screenshot of the guy's face from like a webcam and then like put it on his desktop wallpaper. That's uh, that's the kind of stuff they get into, and it like doesn't really do much, but um, it does waste their time. And if they're wasting time with somebody who's never going to be screwed over, then that's somebody who's not screwed over because of that. Probably a better
Exactly.
way to say that.
Yeah, I love those shows on YouTube of the people that like infiltrate the entire office buildings in some Indian city somewhere that are like the hackers and scammers, and they get into their CCTV cameras and everything like that. Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, I remember there was one guy who tracks down, like, gets the finds the people that are being scammed, and tries to like ungaslight them, and in the process sometimes intercepts packages that they send of money and everything, and finds out that the packages are being sent to another person who's being scammed and they're being manipulated, so they're like the middleman, and it's like this huge pyramid scheme going on to get these packages eventually to Africa or India or wherever they're going of cash. So it's really crazy stuff. And so yeah, even the idea that this tool exists is kind of scary because if even if this company is legit and they're just trying to make something that's useful for businesses so that they can have support chat, like I'm really looking forward to the AI support teams like calling in and it's just an AI person that I can talk to. Like I still would
Yeah.
prefer that over the endless phone tree, uh, push one, like,
Well,
blah.
just think, if you worked in customer service and you were like a supervisor or something, you could have like 5 or 6 Kate models out there that are actively taking phone calls. And then whenever one does come to a problem that it can't handle, it'll transfer it to the real Kate.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Right.
Let's do it.
And then I'll have like a summary of the whole problem and some ideas to fix it and everything so the person picking up the phone actually can solve the problem and doesn't need to start from
Yep.
square one, it's a very practical solution that I'm actually really excited about. But if a legit company can do this, you know that the scammers already are doing it and probably at a scale that we can't even imagine.
It just occurred to me that like somebody who's like owns one of these call center companies or like just manages a bunch of people for one could be like send out an email, be like everybody call this number and talk to this thing, and then when they're done, oh yeah, you're all fine. So when they call, they've got like a bunch of different voices, so it sounds legit.
Yes.
Which I'm gonna go on a limb here. I'm probably gonna get some hate from this. If you work in customer service, you probably already hate your job. So just let the AI do it.
Yeah, I would think that most of those people that do hate their job as customer service agents would be happy to have the AI to do it. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't. I guess like, okay, I don't want to go get a job at McDonald's or whatever, or thought, but the
Well, you can't because the AI and the robots are taking those jobs.
oh
You
yeah,
know, that's
that's
a good
true.
topic for the next episode is
That's a good topic
what
for now.
what the future of jobs like with AI and robots and all this stuff. What is the future of jobs going to look like?
For it to really work, and we've seen this with McDonald's, right? Like they tried to replace the people that were,
I think it
you
was
know,
the drive-through
yeah, yeah,
intercom.
taking the order, which is usually 1 to 2 people. I used to work at McDonald's, and I assume it's exactly the
Oh, we
same.
have an expert here.
Yeah,
Okay, go
yeah.
ahead.
So you got 1 or 2 people. They're both listening, and then whoever has their hands free can pick up the call and take the order. And it couldn't handle it, right? It was causing all kinds of issues. For this kind of technology to work, it's got to work like 99% of the time, or at least outperform a real person doing the job. And they clearly weren't ready for prime time. And I think it's kind of wild that they did this unattended and they didn't have anybody to break in and be like, "Oh, sorry about that. It's acting weird," like
Yeah, and again,
wild.
it's the why it didn't work is it the AI won't ask like, could you clarify that? I didn't hear you. Where a human, if the person in the front seat and the guy in the back seat has the window down, he's screaming his order, and they're both talking at the same time. As the person on the mic, you can be like, "Hey, sorry, I didn't hear that. Can you say that again?" And they'll repeat it, and there's no issue, right? But the AI just makes up something, and so that's the huge problem with it. And Gunky's hand went up, so I bet he can chime in on this too.
Hi guys, can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Hi,
yeah.
Gunky.
Yeah.
How
Cool.
you doing?
I never know with this new headset. It's not like my old one. I had like actual wheels for the volume and stuff, so I knew what I was doing. But anyway, yeah, I think about this a lot. Something I've been playing with. I only really play with Grok at the moment because it's there and it's easy. But you have a conversation with it. You get it to describe a scene to you. Then you ask it to turn that into a prompt. Then you cut and paste that prompt in as a request for an image. And I find it's having an AI helper to help you develop the prompt for whatever program you're trying to create, whatever it is, would be really handy. Almost like a grammar checker or spell checker that it'll say, there's a few problems with this prompt. There's duplicity, this could be one of three things, and try and sort of unrandomize it. And I remember sort of you can create an image in Grok and then sort of work with that image up to a point. Say, yeah, right now add some people or add a rabbit or, I want a scared tiger in the front. But you can also, I asked it about the extra fingers and stuff and said, why do you have such a problem with hands? And it went on to the whole history of hands being, it's not just me. Grok, it's hands are a problem for all artists. I'm doing my best was kind of what it came out with, which I thought was quite funny. Um, on the other thing, I can post it in. I actually redesigned the Clippy, the Windows paperclip, based on the Grok logo. So I'll chuck that in, see what you think. It'd be great if someone could
That's
someone could
awesome.
someone could animate it. Here, I'll chuck it in.
Give it a whirl, see what happens.
Yeah, I'll
There we go.
chuck it in now. Yeah, see what you think. I mean, I can give you I can break it down in Photoshop to the layers if you decide.
Just a
Here you
screenshot
go.
it would be good.
Yeah, I'm just chucking up the JPEG. It was kind of just a meme, really, but then I thought, hey, this could be quite fun if you could get it to animate. Yeah.
You can never really tell. Like,
Well, there is like on the desktop, there is like a Grok button on the bottom right corner. Now I don't know. Am I the only one who sees that?
No, I
It's
see it too. Yeah,
it's
I
kind
guess
of
I hadn't seen
new.
that. Yeah, it is new.
I'm afraid to touch it, like, because I don't know
It's the
what.
Ask Grok. Oh, it
it's
just
the
pulls
end
up like a
space
chat.
button.
It's like a chat with Grok.
Oh, okay. So it is like an early iteration of a potential Grok Clippy mashup. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It just needs to float around now and like dance around and look at things I'm looking at and maybe add its own little commentary. Be like, oh my God, Rich, did you see this one? Oh my God, look at this.
Right, and then be like, "Are you sure you want to post that?"
Yeah, be like, didn't you just post something like this like 3 weeks ago? Like, come on, let's be original.
It looks like you took some Ambien. Want some help?
All right. So while we wait for Gunky to share that, I think the last thing, I mean, yeah, talking about AI taking jobs and stuff. I mean, it's we can always talk about that. But there was one other thing Christopher wanted to talk about was Krea's new image to 3D and then 1024 pixel real time mode at 20 frames per second, which, I understand, but most
It's
people might not. So why
it's
don't
just a
you?
lot smoother. So you can have a camera set up, or my idea is to plug in a video because you can share your screen with it. The first things that I've ever did with Creo was I did like what was it? I had some gameplay footage playing in a video on YouTube, and it was like the beginning of Half Life. First one, it was kind of like, for those who haven't played it, it's like first person, and it's inside like an underground like lab with big impressive machinery going on. And I played that, and then it lets you prompt what you want it to look like in real time. So I was able to record it, and so I changed it into like a old cathedral style game, like an older like medieval style game, and it did a really good job. And I'm hoping that I assume that it's probably going to do an even better job now that it's got like a higher frame rate. It's not going to be as twitchy. It's going to be almost one for one. So I'm hoping to do a little bit more with that, get a little bit higher quality, something a little more impressive.
Cool. Yeah, I don't know. I have nothing.
All right, well, moving on then. Oh no, the 3D thing, the 3D thing. Okay, so
Yeah.
what's cool about
That's
this,
cool.
yeah, is that you're you're not just bringing in 3D models, you're bringing in just images, and it's cutting it out and making it 3D. So the in the demo that we have in the purple pill, we've got a car, we've got a jet, personal jet, and it brings them in, and you can move them around in the scene on the left side, and then it kind of finishes it on the right. And I really think that this is probably what's going to be the future of AI is 3D, because with the current models you can get close to what you're trying to get at, but if you're able to adjust it in 3D, that's the whole package, right? Like, I don't know, I guess animating would be beyond that, but you can set up a scene, you can set it up the exact way that you want to, so it's not no longer a slot machine. It's precisely what you're going for, and you know, you can just make it happen without constantly redoing it. If you look at my feed for Midjourney, it's like constantly like I'll try to get something, and won't get it just right, and I'll just redo it and redo it and redo it and redo it, and you'll see like one image that's like redone like about a 60 to 100 times just to get exactly what I was looking for. So this could cut down that significantly. Yes, Slashkey.
I was just gonna say that if the tool makes it very easy to do that, and especially in first producing the model that you want to use, and then I'm assuming what I've seen from I think Olivia Sarkis, that guy, he was showing that video, and he was showing that you can move it around on the 3D layout, like in the 3D space. And I think that he produced the 3D model and then moved it around. But there's a website called Pose My Art, and there's possibly others. And Pose My Art is, as it says, it poses your art, and it's got lots and lots of different models. It's even got animations for all of the humanoid models, and you can actually it's a 3D space. You can move things around, and then if you've used Stable Diffusion before, I'm not sure about the other ones, but Stable Diffusion has ControlNet, and you can use ControlNet to um, get more accurate results from image to image, or you can just use it straight to detect the light. There's lots of different models for ControlNet. There's a model that's like the one that's really good for furniture and room layouts, and there's one that's really good for just tracing people. And you can use that website Pose My Art, free or paid, to align things in a 3D space, and then take the ControlNet image straight from it. It's actually set up to produce a ControlNet compatible image, so it's a really good website to use for that kind of thing, which we already had. But I guess the advantage of Krea will be that you can actually produce the model that you'll be using. The advantage that Pose My Art has over that, or maybe not an advantage, but a different thing that Pose My Art has is they actually have the animations for the humanoids. So if you were doing like if you wanted to get the frames of all the animation to put together to do not video, not text to video, or a video producing, but you actually want to make each frame of the video yourself or integrate that into your work, then you can use Pose My Art for that as well. And they're actually growing as well. They add more scenes. They've actually got preset scenes as well. There's a lot of things you can do there. So if you weren't aware of that and you do like the idea of posing the models exactly where you want them, you could try that.
Nice. Outstanding. Okay, so we're hitting the end of the hour. Did any of my co-hosts want to bring up anything? Want to plug anything, like Luma, for example?
Yes. If you want to support the show here, we're going to talk a little bit first about what this show is going to adapt into. So we're still going to be doing our every 2 weeks of spaces where we just talk about the latest in the AI news and kind of give our hot takes on it. This is a little bit more of like where we discuss the controversial subjects and things and address that around AI. And then we're also going to be starting to add a video component to the show. So every other week, we will put out a show where Christopher critiques some AI videos. And there was a couple threads he put out like a while back where people submitted content. And we've just been like amid a lot of busyness. So we haven't been able to do that. But our goal is for next Saturday to put up a video for you guys to look at so you can kind of learn from Christopher through the critique of other people's work, um, how to improve, get good results, all the things that are required to create a film using AI, um, all of these AI models. And our favorite is Luma. We all use it here up on stage, the co hosts and the host, of course. And so we have an affiliate partnership with Luma Labs. So if you haven't tried it out, you can click through the link pinned up in the Jumbotron or down in the purple pill. And that will, if you do end up using it and paying for the service, that will give us a percentage, and that money will be going to support this show and growing it. So we hope to offer more value in here and do more. So that's basically that. So I hope you will consider, even if you already have an account or you already use it, just clicking through just so that we know that you're supporting us is appreciated.
Yes, and if you want to be in the reaction videos for AI videos, if you got an AI video, if you go to the purple pill, I just dropped one of those threads. You can add your video to that, and if Kate decides to and likes you, and you're following her, and you appreciate her and like her posts and comment on her posts, she might choose you.
Yeah, it's really not hard to stand out in my
Yep.
feed and
Yep.
on my timeline if you want to suck up to me, like there's not a lot of competition there. Yeah, and we have so many amazing submissions, so I'm very excited to do that. It'll be a live reaction type of show format, and Christopher won't be picking the videos. I will be, and showing him to him. Some of them he may have seen, but
It's possible.
it'll be a surprise in the moment, and he will give his honest feedback, and we all learn from it. So it's not just important for the people whose videos are featured, but it's for all of us. I'm excited to learn from it, and yeah.
Yeah, so if I have seen one, I promise you that I will do my best to pretend that I've never seen it before.
No, we want your honest reaction. So you should tell us that you've seen it before,
Right,
and
right.
also give the feedback it deserves.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that shakes out. I mean, you don't know what I've seen, right?
Well, I do know the ones that you've sent me to say, like, oh yeah, pick this one. So
Oh, yeah. So yeah, there's some kind of cloak and dagger stuff going on. So you're also in the smoky room with the guy with the suit that never talks.
yeah, yeah. But then I'm the one who like leaves the room, opens the door, and just tells the person who holds the towels like exactly what had just happened. So
Ooh, towel holder.
The person who holds the towels.
I don't know.
All right. And on that note, we will see you all later. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Yeah, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you to my two co-hosts, Rich Silver and Kate Bligh. Please give them a follow, and we will see you all in 2 weeks for this show, and next week for the React show. Thank you everybody for coming. Say hello to the towel guy.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, cheers, guys.